Hey, Colin Marcel here. Welcome to my video. In this video we are going to be using arrays and objects. So we're going to create a mini project that has an array that stores an object that we're going to create, and that object is going to have custom values that we're also going to make. So I have two classes here, a main and an object class. First we're going to go over to the object class and create our constructor. This is going to be the default constructor here. And we're going to have a value constructor, so we can put in the object what we want to put in. So this object is going to have a name, it's going to have health, and it's going to have gold. Let's have gold be a double. So we're going to go ahead and create getters and setters for this so that we can access these values later. But first we need to make the variables. String name, private int health, private double gold. So typing this dot name equals name, we'll set whatever value we get from here to the value up here when we create the object. This dot health equals health. This dot gold equals gold. To create getters and setters, you can just simply go up to source, generate getter and setter, select all, and then generate. And this is what they look like. It'll return the name, so we can grab this in the main function from our array, and then we can also set the name, so we can change these values later. And we can do the same with health and gold. So this class is actually all set up. This is what an object creation class kind of looks like. So we're going to go over to the main and we're going to create an array. I'm going to use an array list because we aren't going to know how many objects we're going to put in here, and it's also going to be of type object since that's what we are creating. Objects equals new array list objects. We have to go ahead and import array list, and there we go. So we can create new objects now. So object add, and then we're going to create an object to put in here. So object O1 equals new object. This is just going to be a default because we're not putting any values in here. So here we're going to add O1 to the objects array. And then we're going to create our second object, O2, and this one is going to have some values in it. So I'm going to go and name it Colin. I'm going to give it 10 health, and I'm going to give it 52.7 gold, because these are the values that we defined right here. So the nice thing about constructors is, well, you name them the same as a class, but you can create as many as you want to create whole bunches of different types of objects with different values that are of the same type, and you can put those into arrays. So next we're going to add our second object, O2. Save that, and if we run it, it won't do anything right now, but everything has been created and added to the array. So I'm going to go ahead and make a way for us to get that information back. So if we so we can do objects, because we know object 2 is in spot 2, we can do objects get 1 dot get anything really. We can get the name. I'm gonna go ahead and copy this. Get 1, we're gonna get the gold, and we're going to get the health. I kind of did that out of order, but it's not too big of a deal. So we're also going to want to print these out. So I'm going to fix the order. Alright, so we created our object array list. We created two objects, and we put both those objects in the array list. Here we are getting the second object in the array list, and we're getting its name, health, and gold. If we did 0, it wouldn't do anything because there is no name. But we could just set a default name, default health, and a default gold value. So if we print out that, it'll just be the defaults. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this as well. And there's two ways we can do this. We can just do this manually or with a for loop. I'll show you manually first. So first it's going to print out the default object and then the object we created. So default and then the object we created. The second way we can do this is we can go ahead and use a for loop. So for int I equals 0, while I is less than objects dot size I plus plus, and we can just make it print out based on how many objects are in there. And this is a good way to be able to know which object is what is by creating some kind of ID. In this case I'll use a name, so that you can scan your entire array and look for something with a certain ID, and then you can get the rest of the information with that. Like if ID equals 1 or if name equals 0, also get the health and the gold. So here it should print out the same exact thing. And there we go. So yeah, that's objects and arrays. I hope you enjoyed and have a great day.